So I wanted to share with you an overview of the iTELL program developed by CTAP, California Technology Assistance Program. iTELL stands for Integrating Technology with English Language Learners, and although there is a focus on ensuring that English language learners have access to content, through these strategies, you're going to find that many of these strategies are applicable to all students. And so I want to make sure that I kind of say that right at the beginning. So there are three elements of iTELL. We address culture, teacher and lesson support, and family engagement. And we're going to go through each one of these elements in more detail. So with culture, many of our students who are either English language learners in the sense that they have are recent arrivals to our country, or long-term English language learners who have maybe been born in this country but have a home culture that is significantly different than the school culture. And so those are elements that we need to look at when we think about English language learners and their success in a school setting. The other element is the peer culture. Especially as you get to middle school and high school, English language learners begin to realize, even long-term English language learners, that their home culture, their school culture, and their peer culture may not all be aligned, and find themselves in a bit of a struggle in trying to straddle all three while acquiring the language skills to be successful in the classroom. So that may not necessarily mean levels 1, 2, or 3 on the CELT, but the language skills that are level 4 and 5 on the CELT that would allow them to engage in academic discussions in the classroom. Another element that iTELL will address is teacher and lesson support. And this really is the meat of the program, in which we look at strategies to open up the standards. So, for example, this is a schema of how iTELL looks at the standards. So you begin with the standard in mind, either the current ones or the Common Core. What you unpack the standards by asking yourself, what will I expect my students to learn? You then decide on the strategies and tools that you're going to use. iTELL will come in at this point and support the teachers with the tools so that they are also integrating technology in their lesson planning. That could include videos, it could include Web 2.0, if they have smart technology. There are many applications on the iPad and that include iPhone and iPods, and of course some research-based strategies from the current research. After you have identified your strategies and tools, then you need to identify how you're going to differentiate, not only among the CELT levels, but also of the needs of your students based on academic performance, based on behavior, etc. So you might differentiate by doing a heterogeneous grouping, a homogeneous grouping. It just really depends on your goal. There's an element to iTELL that we have added, which is family engagement, and we'll discuss this a little further. But what that means is, how will families support what the teacher is implementing in the classroom? And so being targeted about that decision as well. And so a sample lesson would look like, we took the Common Core in English Language Arts and a History Social Studies from our current standards, and we married them. And this is an anchor standard for the Common Core for speaking, listening in 6th grade, with a focus on comprehension and collaboration. And if you look at the Common Core standard, it says to interpret information presented in diverse media and formats and explain how it contributes to a topic, test, or issue under study. And so what issue is under study? In this case, it's going to be social studies, locate and describe the Nile River Valley, and discuss how it supported early settlements and civilizations. So we're going to unpack this standard, and one of the elements that the students need to do is locate the Nile River Valley and study the geographical features of the area. Next, they're going to use Google Maps and create a graphic organizer to capture their ideas. So those are the tools that we're using and the strategies. Finally, how will I differentiate? They're going to work in heterogeneous groups in order to support the level 1, 2, and 3 students on the CELT as they do research for their project. So there's 3 elements that are consistent throughout iTELL, and that's engagement, offering an opportunity for exploration, and then having a final outcome, which is their project. And the third component to iTELL is family engagement. And with family engagement, it's looking at families in a more meaningful way in the sense that we want to see them as academic partners. So how can they continue the academic discussion that occurs in school at home? And so one of the ways that iTELL has attempted to address this issue is by kind of marrying the homework in a significant way for families. And in this way, iTELL will support all learners. If you are interested in learning more, please contact your CTAP office. Thank you.